Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you guys are staying safe out there and that you guys had a great weekend with your loved ones. Okay, so I have uploaded two videos on Sunday, yesterday, with the Mephisto. If you go back, I may just put the links below. There were two different presentations with different changes that I made. And that involved, of course, the Mephisto on both the Gryphon Mephisto amplifier and the Alexia 2s. Before I am asked, I might as well just answer the question, where are the Magnepans? Right there. Okay. So the Magnepans are still here. I'm not planning to part ways with the Magnepans. My idea is that eventually, as I continue to play with the Alexia 2s and the Mephisto, that I can circle back to the Magnepan and hopefully put together an interesting combination with the Magnepans as well. But I don't want to embark on that, to be honest, because first of all, it's going to throw me off from what I'm doing with the Alexia 2s and the Mephisto, and it's also going to annoy some of you if we start to go back and forth and we're not really following some sort of a direction. So I'm trying to stay with one path for the time being. Now, this does not mean that I may not throw a video in the middle of, for instance, the top preamplifiers I've ever owned or something like that. I may do that, or a review of another amplifier. I may do that still. But I think right now for this particular point, I want to focus on that Mephisto on the floor. If you are wondering, in case you have missed it, I did mention it in one of my previous videos that I did order a critical mass stand for it. So that'll be here hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And I also have ordered a preamplifier. So we are going to get to see what this Mephisto can do with what I hope, fingers crossed, what I hope is a better match or a better preamplifier for it. The Momentum HD, as I mentioned in my previous video, is an outstanding preamplifier. Really, really is one special preamplifier. And to be sincere with you and be very real, I actually felt like out of the two components, the Momentum HD preamp and the Momentum S250, or even the M400s, why not throw them in the fire too? I do feel like the star of the show is the preamplifier. I'm actually starting to believe that the preamplifier is really the better component of the Momentum line right now. Before, not so much. I think before the Momentums were ahead or more desirable, or just they gave you more, and the preamplifier that they had at that point in time, just the standard Momentum, was just okay. If you look up on YouTube, you'll be able to see some of the comments from the man himself, Dan D'Agostino, where he actually makes references to this, where people criticize him in the past because he really couldn't put together a preamplifier. And the HD was really the biggest effort he's had to make, to step it up a notch and to put together a better preamplifier, and I think that really paid off. I believe that HD Momentum is one of the best preamplifiers I've ever owned. And I am very nervous, to be honest with you, because I did part ways with it, and I do not know if I am going to be able to recuperate with that preamplifier brought to the table, or even improve upon it. Like, I really do not know. But that's the name of the game here on my channel. It's to be able, it really is about exploring all possible options or solutions and see how far we can go. So that said, ordering the preamplifier, the stand, let's go over video number 1. I called it round 1, Gryphon Mephisto. Look at the description below. Round 1, was my first attempt at beginning to change the direction in which the Mephisto was taking me. When I first dropped the Mephisto on the carpet, first cables that I used were these right here, Hurricanes. So, Hurricane Audio Quest, which is right now connected to my Parasounds that are finally back from the dead. They are on, actually, for the first time in like a week or two. I was using those with the Mephisto. And I had the Odin on my DAC, I should say, the clock in the DAC itself. And those were plugged into the outlet directly in behind it. So that was the setup. Now, the change that I made for that first video called Round 1 was to simply go after some adapters. I might just show these to you. Let me just turn this off here. Let me do the nice thing and not do what Jay typically does behind the curtains. All right, let me turn this off. All right. I bought these adapters, if you remember. Voodoo. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you guys can see it. All right. So what these do is these are allowing me to turn a power cord. Give me a second. Here. All right. So let's put it back. All right. So I bought these adapters. All right. These are the Voodoo cable adapters. These are like $220 each. All right, so what I did is I bought these. These allow me to use a 15 amp power cord into the standard connector on the back of the Mephisto. And that allowed me to use, those Dragon power cords into the Mephisto. So what you heard on the first presentation was nothing else than a swap of power cords. All I did was grab the Hurricane, took off the Hurricanes from the system, from the Mephisto, and connected the Dragon Audio Quest with these adapters. All right, that's what I did. Okay, guys. Now, you guys heard the video. I thought it was a step in the right direction. I thought it actually sounded cleaner, very musical, very engaging. And to you guys, and I never told you this, but I'm going to say it now. I was never using the Merrill Christine. I was going DAC direct into the Mephisto on video number 1, round 1. No preamp, DAC straight into the Mephisto. The only change was those power cords on the back of the Mephisto. I got to tell you, the Hurricane power cords at an MSRP of $24.95 for a 2 meter, and the Dragons being $9,800 for a 2 meter, almost 4 times the price. You pretty much are forced to do that with a Mephisto. You guys heard it on video number 1. You can hear the clarity, the level, the much more information, much more beautiful sounding. It almost feels like it refined the presentation of the Mephisto a lot more. There was much more clarity. And of course, that is also attributed to the DAC, because I did go DAC direct as opposed to the Rev 6 SE into the, with the Mephisto. But you heard a step in the right direction. Still not finished, of course, work in progress. We know that. But you heard something was moving forward in the right direction. And that's what I wanted to do. I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, rolled out of bed, spent time with my family. Then I said, you know what? Let's try now using those Dragon power cords on the back of the DAC and bring the Odin 1 power cords into the back of the Mephisto. Okay? So that's what you're using. So round 2, that's all I did. Swap power chords. Odin's into the Mephisto, Dragon into the DAC. Presentation became, it sounded cleaner, a feeling of more clarity, if you will. But, there's a big but. If you crank it up, you get brightness. If you crank it up too loud, I'm talking 85 plus dBs, it begins to take a toll on you. However, in terms of the purity and the clarity, it was all there. I mean, I think the mids are a lot cleaner with the Odin connected to the Mephisto, Odin power chord. However, that clarity and that razor sharp focus comes at a price. That being the extra edges that it adds to the high frequency that I do not believe help the present certain music, or to be clear, maybe even the DCS DAC. It doesn't help it. Maybe the DCS DAC already has enough treble in it, enough high frequency, enough bite that it doesn't like the Odin on the back of the Mephisto. Again, system synergy, system matching. So that could very well be it. Personally, I think I like both setups, both combinations. Round 1 and round 2 was very interesting for me. If you go back and forth between both, I think both do something interesting that's different. And neither is wrong. It's just hard for me to pick which way to go. And I think the preamplifier that's coming is probably going to be the boss as far as like telling me this is the way we go. These power chords here and the others here. That's what's going to determine, I think, where I'm going to continue to head with the Mephisto. There's also something that we got to keep in mind: the power chords that the power chord that the preamplifier needs. That's something that I have to think about. I may need to get a power cord for that preamplifier as well. Probably will. So that's added cost right there. So here we're talking, think about it: 2 Odin power chords, 2 Dragon power chords. That's easily what? $46,000 MSRP. 4 power chords. And that goes back to what I was telling you all. At the level of the Mephisto, a $2,495 power cord like the Hurricane, in my opinion, fails. It smears it. It makes it sound smeared. It makes it sound a little cloudy, for lack of a better word. It doesn't sound as pure. In addition to that, when you heard that Merrill setup, and this is something I never said to you guys, when you heard that Merrill setup, that I still believe is the best my Alexia 2 has sounded, with the audio research reference 6 SE, those Merrill setups, those amplifiers were using the Hurricane. I mean, we're using the Dragon power chords. I never told you that. But that's what made those amps come to that level of clarity, detail, smoothness, musicality. Of course, the preamplifier helped, but I did the test myself. And when I took off those Dragon power chords from the Merrill Audio 118s, when I pulled those off the wall and I used the Hurricanes or even the Merrill power chords, it was a huge step down. It was like going from a 10 to a 6. Okay, so, and that's also a testament to the neutrality and transparency of the Alexia 2s. So remember when I said to you in the past, at this level, everything needs to improve. Everything you've got. You need to start looking at every possible cable that may or may not be helping you. I can already tell you from the short ownership that of the Mephisto, I can tell you right now, the AudioQuest Hurricane is not the cable for this type of amplifier. Simple as that. It is the cable for a Parasound, without a doubt. It is the cable for a, be good for a Luxman 900U. It would be great for that level. Sim Audio sounded awesome with it. Be great for that type of amplification. It is not for a Mephisto. The Mephisto will just kill you. Essentially, it will disappoint you. It will make you scratch your head thinking, why did you spend so much money and you don't sing the way you should? Okay, so that's something that I never really told you guys, but yeah, that's a little secret I had in my back pocket. That's what elevated the hell out of those Element 118s, those power chords. So that's when I said, let's try it on the Mephisto, and we did on round one of my previous videos. Then we did the Odin. You heard the difference with the Odin. Now we're using DAC Direct. I will tell you this though. There is absolutely no way, and if this changes, I'm going to be very shocked. There's absolutely no way that I can go DAC Direct with the Mephisto. I don't believe the Mephisto is an amplifier that can be tamed or controlled correctly by a DAC. I think a DAC is going to give you information, and it's going to give you clarity, and it's going to give you a lot of more bells and whistles and things that perhaps a lot of preamplifiers will miss. But the reality is it needs the right driver behind it, behind the wheel. And a DAC simply doesn't have the brakes to stop the Mephisto the way a preamplifier can. And so, in my opinion, at least with my current DAC, Rossini does not have what it takes to get a hold of the Mephisto and essentially command the Mephisto the right way. I said it, the Mephisto is a wild child. It needs the right partnering preamplifier. I don't believe the Mephisto is a power amplifier that should ever be driven with a DAC. Now, does that mean that some of you guys, may already have a Mephisto and are using a DAC and are happy? Sure, I can believe that. But with the Alexia 2s and what I have here, unless you bring me like an MSB DAC, like the $100,000 DAC or something like that, then it's something different. I'm talking normal price DACs, guys. I'm talking DACs that are MSRP of like $39,000 and below, just to give you a point of reference. Now, if you're thinking about, bullshit, a DAC, that's $120,000, yeah, I'm sure that probably will be a different scenario. 39 and below, I don't think there is a DAC that can drive the Mephisto. That's my personal opinion. If you guys have a different one, I understand it. But based on my trials, I believe it isn't the right partner for the Mephisto. So we are going to try the Christine, of course. We're going to try different combinations with the Christine, Merrill Christine preamplifier. We're going to play with the cables as I have been doing with the DAC and figure out how or what happens to the Mephisto while we wait on the rest of the stuff that I have ordered. I have received, and I may show it on my next video, I have received Gryphon speaker cables, and I have received Gryphon XLR and power cords. So I am going to dress up the Mephisto with whatever Gryphon thought as the right cabling for the Mephisto. And we're going to try and see how it sings and what it does and it doesn't do. Maybe I'm blown away and I realize I don't need to have all of this Odin cabling here. Maybe the Mephisto doesn't like Odin. Maybe he hates it. Maybe all I need is a full cable swap and I'm done. That's why I think it will be interesting. It will be very interesting to see what the Mephisto will do with Gryphon cabling. Okay. So that's essentially here. I need to open the box and dress everything up and, and let things warm up a little bit and then be able to do a couple of videos and see what I think of it. One question that I got was if I am happy with the Alexia 2s and the bass performance. And the question is, and the answer is yes, absolutely. Without a doubt, the Alexia 2's bass performance is incredible. I think if you need more bass than what the speaker has, you must have a cathedral as a room, and you are positioning the speakers where the priest stands and you're seated on the back. I mean, that's about the only way I can think you needing subwoofers with an Alexia 2. I mean, it's just insane. Like, there's so much bass here, fullness, that I believe I am going to try to probably move them farther away from the wall just to get a little lighter on the bottom end meat that I get. But that's preference. That's because maybe I might feel a little, more balanced there. Who knows? But I don't want to do that now. Like I said, I'm still trying to understand what the Mephisto does with other cables and components. In addition to that, in a couple of weeks, be on the lookout because I am going to be reviewing a new DAC that just released. Okay, I'm not going to give you hints, but it is a brand new DAC that just released. Unfortunately, that DAC needs a USB input, and it needs to bring a source that has a USB of some sort. So I am going to be going and doing a throwback. I'm going to be using a laptop with a USB cable into the DAC to be able to stream some music and use Rune. And that's okay because, in reality, that's what I did for many years. So it's not going to bother me to do that for at least a trial and to be able to understand what this DAC does. But that will be coming as well in about 2 to 3 weeks. I think you guys are going to be very excited for that because I am actually very excited because maybe I get to hear a different source that I like better with the Alexias, and I don't even know, that I haven't even considered that option. So those things are coming, and right now I don't think I want to get rid of the Alexia 2s. I think I want to continue to roll with the Alexia 2s. They are a lot of fun. I heard what they did with the Merrill Audio and the Rev 6 SE. And right now, that is the standard in my head. And I was blown away, by what I heard. Blown away. So keep in mind that just because you buy a component does not mean you're going to be successful with what you're trying to do. If that's part of the journey. That's part of what I want to do with this channel. Put together a system. Believe me, I wasn't happy to let go of the Merrill Audio 118s with the Rev 6 SE. That was actually a tough pill to swallow for me because I felt like that was some of the best sound I've had here. And I knew, and my head said, Jay, you may not be able to get that type of sound here again. It may be hard as hell to beat that presentation. It has everything. And it did, in my opinion. But the curious guy in me said, but you have a Mephisto, man. You have bigger plans now. You got to move on. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So more to come on that. Just remember, I'm not guaranteed to always win them all. If I fail on this one, no problem. I'll be the first one to come out here, raise my hand and say basically, hey, guys, I couldn't put it together with this particular setup. And the Alexias are here, and I'm not getting rid of them. And I'm not about to bring another big speaker here. I don't have that. First of all, the finances and the logistics and all of that. And I can't do that. The Alexia 2s are not exactly a cheap speaker. So, and what speaker really could I bring at the level of the Alexia 2 that doesn't cost around the same money? And I just don't want to be spending that kind of money on another set of speakers, just to try another pair of speakers. So more to come. Please subscribe, hit that bell button. It helps me a lot, guys. Hit the like button. It helps me a lot. I want to continue giving you updates, and we're going to keep doing this. Stay tuned. This road is going to be pretty long, I feel, but I think we're going to learn together so much about not only the Mephisto, but the cables that we're going to be able to hear through it, the preamplifiers, everything, right? We're going to hear everything. And that's what this is about, is gaining knowledge, experience, and be able to hear things for yourself so you can reference to my videos and say, I remember what Jay did when he had that issue. Let me look up his video. Oh, man, that's probably the problem I have. That's what I have. That's my issue. I need this. That's the point on my channel to help you hopefully put together a kick-ass system for yourselves. Good night.